Okay, I got an interesting tale to tell you, which actually solidifies what Lou Elizondo was talking about, that we are using private military assets to hunt for UFOs. This story takes place in 2015. Actually, it goes back, to 2000, 9/11 specifically. 1999, I knew someone who joined the Marines as a reserve. 2001, 9/11 happens. That person is activated. Security clearance is elevated, and therefore rank is also, I think, moves up. Regardless, the point is Iraq War, retires, then goes back into private military contract work. And when he returns, someone I'd known went to meet him for dinner, and they were talking about UFOs. And the person asked the military man why he all of a sudden is talking about UFOs when he's been a skeptic his entire life. And he replies that he works at a private military contract company in Kuwait. And in this particular instance, he is rooming with a 4-star retired Army general. And his job is to use government funds filtered through the public or private military corporation to use the most sophisticated telescopic equipment, recording equipment to basically scan the solar system for UFOs. And the irony, he said, was that regardless of whether we got a lock on and they were, say, orbs and, cigar-shaped craft by the moon, and we'd turn everything to focus at the moon, then in a split second, those things would appear at another portion of the solar system. And I know you guys are looking for sources. And so I could tell you that I know this story is 100% true. It's not gibberish. And the reason I know this is because the military man is my brother. Yes, his job is so classified. I have no idea what he does. I have no idea. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for this. I probably already got him in trouble for even saying this because I don't even know if that was allowed to be told. But essentially, he was telling me this when he came back in 2015 for the first time when he did his 3 tours. And his job is so hush-hush in the sense that all I do know is he involves IT, so he's not on military convoys or anything like that. Again, I hope I'm not getting him in trouble by saying that as well. But I do know his classification, his security clearance is so high. Well, I don't even know what it is because he can't tell me. I just do know here and there, occasionally, every few years, something would happen that would involve the military, or obviously I'm assuming it's clearance, because you could tell he'd become more hush-hush for a few months and he wouldn't talk about what he's working on. And then he'd get more lax, and then he would just become second nature not to answer questions. So when he stayed, I hope I'm not getting him in trouble again by saying this, in Kuwait, which is all we knew about. We still don't know what base he was on. I don't think we'll ever know. I don't think he'll ever be able to tell us. I think at one point he was at the embassy, because usually if you're at base, you're not really sharing one room with another person, and this who's a VIP, in that case, the 4-star general. And it wasn't until this last tour of 3 tours that he actually admitted that he served some time in Afghanistan and Iraq, which we, again, had no idea when he was out there. For the first time in decades, he's actually been able to show me photographs of him riding in hot zones in, like, what do they call them? Like Blackhawks, essentially. Now, he's obviously armed because you're going through a hot zone, but there's other people who are in the private military corporation tasked with the security. So they got better guns, but they gave him a sidearm too. It was just interesting. So I figured I should tell you guys that, especially now since he's out of the country and he's not going to hear about this quite yet. But I just hope it doesn't get him in trouble. And I wouldn't be surprised, because of people I speak to. Obviously, I know I would think that, if I file a Freedom of Information Act, I might get some sort of surveillance, because every single person is under surveillance, at what scale is the question. Because even if you're a Joe Schmo who never did anything in your life, the government uses the idea of mass bulk data collection through surveillance with basically the idea that if you commit a crime down the line, they can go back 30 years before, see your chatter, your text, your email, your Facebook, Skype, whatever, and say, aha, he was planning a conspiracy back then. That's how they justify this crap. But in essence, more people are under higher surveillance. For instance, anybody who spoke to President Trump or Roger Stone. Roger Stone was actively investigated by Robert Mueller when he was on this show. So was Jerry Corsi. And of course, General Flynn, as you all know, was under one of the worst bullshit investigations of all time. And I interviewed his brother. So clearly, you know, that phone was tapped, as we found out later through the Mueller investigation. So obviously some conversations I had with these people at some point were recorded and analyzed by NSA or who else, Booz Allen Hamilton, and something like that, whatever. It's just another one of those private military corporations. Anyhow, I'm not going to keep this very long. I just wanted you all to know that as early as 2015, probably a lot older than that, that's the first time I became aware that you can actually get a good paying job upwards of $400,000 a year living in the shitty desert, unless you're from there. I couldn't handle 140-degree heat with 18-inch camel spiders that can run 18-20 miles an hour in the desert. They're not poisonous from what I hear, but they bite the shit out of you. I personally would like the money and what I would do at that job. I just don't think I could handle living in Kuwait. And try drinking liquor out there, you'll get your head cut off, even if you're an American soldier. So I just wanted to give you all that message. Please hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up, and share this video. I'll catch you all on the flip side.